All right, folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. I'm about to bring you another episode of the slap heard around the world, the super slap. This time from a legal perspective. I got a good friend of mine. He's a legal mind, local brother, great defense attorney. If you ever get in trouble, he's a man to call. He called me up, Lonzo. I got a theory on this Will Smith situation. I'd like to bring it to your clientele, to your audience. No problem, man. Let's do it. And this is Compton Chronicles. It broadcasts on all my platforms. As you can see, the background's a little bit different, y'all. I got the Compton Chronicles back here. And this is because I have a website for Compton Chronicles also, ComptonChronicles.com. And we highlight a little bit different stuff on the Compton Chronicles as opposed to NWA Stories with Lonzo and Legendary Connects with Dr. Dre. So same host, different platform, building different audiences, folks. But I'm glad to see all my folks are here in the house now. What's up with you, Marlon? Unknown Raider guy. It's all good, folks. Right now, I'm gonna bring my boy on the show. What's up, Easy Steve? Dakar Diourbel. What's up, Dakar?
Hey, Lonzo. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
I'm glad you called me with this concept, man. When you told me about this the other day, I thought about this. You know, since we've talked, I've had a couple of different revelations in regard to this situation. I'm gonna let you tell my audience what you came up with, your perspective on the situation, and we'll talk about it from there. You go right ahead. You got the floor.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about the incident from a legal perspective in just a few minutes. But before I get into that, I want to talk about whether or not Will Smith was justified in slapping Chris Rock. I mean, that's the number one question. I understand that Will Smith is getting a lot of flack over this. Currently, I believe the city attorney's office, Los Angeles city attorney, is contemplating filing a criminal charge on him. But just man to man, Will Smith did the right thing at that moment. No doubt about it. Will's a smart guy. Will did a calculation. So this is what was going on. So as we all know, a few years ago at the Oscars, when Chris Rock was hosting, he made a joke about Jada Pinkett boycotting, and he compared it to himself being boycotted from Rihanna's panties. And the point he made is, to Jada, you weren't invited anyways. Okay, so you have that history. And then here you have Sunday night at the Oscars this year, Chris Rock making another joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, but in this time in regard to the length of her hair. And we understand now that Chris Rock wasn't aware that she has a health issue, namely alopecia, that caused her hair loss. So he wasn't aware of that at the time that he made the joke. But here's the thing, and here's why Will Smith did the right thing at that time. Will, as Jada Pinkett Smith's wife, has a duty as a man to protect her, to defend her honor, to stand up for her, etc. That is his God's given role in her life. So when Chris Rock made the joke that he made about her being suitable for G.I. Jane Part 2, which would be a role that, you know, as Demi Moore played in G.I. Jane 1, you know, where she could wear her hair short, you know, she was offended by that. And when we watched the video, we could see her turn her head away from Chris Rock when he made that joke, and she rolled her eyes. Will Smith initially laughed at the joke, like most people did, but then once he noticed that his wife's feelings were hurt, he felt differently about it. So in that moment, he did a quick calculation. Do I sit here and do nothing and allow this humiliation of my wife to stand, where I'm going to potentially lose her respect, take a hit to my manhood, to my image, or do I get up and do something about it? And I compare what Will did to a very popular movie called John Q, starring Denzel Washington. And the parallel that exists between what Will did and what we saw in John Q, Denzel, as a father of a boy who had a heart condition and needed a heart transplant, was put in a situation where he had to do something to save his son's life. And the insurance wasn't going to pay for the transplant. I think there was limited organ donors, but he had to do something. And it was getting down to the wire where his son only had a few days to live. So in that moment, he made a decision to take the hospital hostage, which is a crime. Take everybody in the hospital hostage, hold them against their will, and demand a transplant for his son to save his son's life. In the end, it worked out. His son was able to get the heart transplant. He saved his son's life. Here's the point, and here's the parallel. Denzel's character in that movie decided to commit criminal acts in order to save his son's life. And he was willing to deal with any repercussions that came from it. Going to prison, dealing with the police, whatever comes with it, I'm willing to do it because I'm not willing to sit here and do nothing and allow my son to die. Will Smith, by the same token, decided he wasn't going to allow his wife's respect of him to die in that moment by him sitting there and doing nothing. So he made a calculated decision. I would rather take the route of addressing this now and commit a criminal act, which is slapping Chris Rock in the face. That would be a battery. And that's why he proceeded as he did. So there's a parallel there that I find very interesting. And I think he made the right decision. And it could have been a lot worse. Lonzo, you and I talked about this a couple of days ago. I applaud Chris Rock for not pressing charges against Will Smith. That's why Will wasn't arrested at the time. And that's why there's no criminal charge currently pending against Will Smith. Chris Rock decided to not press criminal charges. At the same time, I applaud Will for standing up to Jada and for choosing to slap Chris Rock as opposed to punching him, because he could have easily stormed the stage as he did and punched Chris Rock in the face, which would have did a lot more damage to Chris Rock. Could have potentially, drew blood, broke his jaw, knocked him down, things of that nature. So he made a calculated move to do the less damaging of the two. And he, much like John Q, having saved his son's life at the end of the movie, I think Will saved his dignity, his manhood, and his respect as a man. And I think he did the right thing.
Now, can I respond?
Yes. Sorry to be so long-winded, but
No problem. You my boy. I love you like I love a play cousin. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Bullshit. Okay. I'm calling bullshit because Jada has embarrassed this man, embarrassed Will in ways that, dude, damn well you want to choke this shit out of her ass. Okay. Sleeping with your son's friend and talking about it. Go on Oprah and tell people that your sex game is like a woman. Everybody knows she was in love with Tupac, and Will never fill that gap. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I get you. I get 110%. I had to make some comedic shit in there, put on the bullshit call. But I think for me, when I saw that, I just finished this book last week, and this is my third show on this situation because I think his book gave a pretty good insight of his mindset. He had to show the world that he just wasn't no chump. Okay, he's been fighting. In the first chapter of his book, he calls himself a coward. What man does that? Okay, what man does that? No, I've known some of the most scariest guys in the world, but I never anybody said, "Hey man, I'm a coward, dude." I would always look at myself as being a coward. I was not a fighter as a kid. I learned to fight. I don't like to fight, I'm not a gangster, but I've done more gangster shit than a whole bunch of cats. Okay. And thank God that's why you my partner. Because if I do some more gangster shit, you know where to come get my ass at. Okay. But
I got you.
I got you. Okay. But I'm also saying that he had to prove something not only to her, but to himself, because he has been the goody two shoe guy for the past 30 years in hip hop. He's been a goody two shoe guy. But parents just don't understand. Girls of the world are nothing but trouble. He came out in the time of NWA, a Public Enemy, and he was never hard enough. He was never tough enough. He was always that squeaky clean kid. And yesterday I did a show with Dr. Dre from Young MTV Raps. He made some points that I had forgot about. You know, Will has always been a super clean cat. He was one of the first guys to go on Young MTV Raps because he was always safe. He was always pre-approved by non-melanated people. He was always a safe dude, okay? He's a smiler, he's a dancer, he's an entertainer, he's a jokester. He makes everybody feel comfortable, okay? In fact, in his book, his therapist calls him Uncle Fluffy, okay? Because he ain't, it ain't no big deal. But here's something that I think that something that dawned on me this morning when I was talking about this again with one of my nephews, okay? In the past week, I've had multiple, at least 40, maybe 50 conversations about this same situation. Okay. You got two multimillionaires that did some shit in front of the world that took over the news feed. Chris Rock's ticket sales have gone through the roof. Tickets that was $45 are now $400. Will Smith's book, that was a good selling book, is now back on the top sellers list. Okay, they both making a shitload of money. What if you got three actors? You got three actors involved in this shit. Okay, they get paid for making people think.
I know where you're going.
They get paid for making people think shit happened that didn't really happen. Will's a damn good actor. Jada's not bad, and neither is Chris Rock. Okay, there is so much money and content being generated from this situation. This is my third show this week on this situation. Not to mention, like I said, I've had at least 50 conversations about the same situation. This is why I have so many different opinions on it, because this thing has gotten bigger than people dying in Somalia, people dying in Ukraine. One slap upside the head, and a couple of MFs that took over the whole news feed. Why? Because at the Oscars. Why? Because it was two black men. Why? Because it was Chris Rock and Chris Rock and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. I don't know, man, but it's gotten so big. It's almost like it won't go away. Okay, and
are you implying that this may have been staged?
Man, look, it was a couple of people on YouTube got some slow motion videos. It looked like Chris might have been expecting. He might have been prepping for it. Don't hit me with a fist, because that could be assault. A slap and a punch. It's the same thing, but it's different. A slap and a punch. If I slap you, you can slap your kid. You can't punch him. Okay. You can, as a lawyer, you can slap your kid, but you can't punch him. Okay, same hand, same amount of force. But
I'd agree with that.
If you open your hand and slap a kid across the ass, you are disciplining. If you punch him, it's assault. Okay, Chris Rock kind of braced himself. Nobody was expecting it per se. It was a super surprise. It was a major surprise. You got a whole lot of elements here, man, that make you think, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money involved in this shit, man. People making money. Chris Rock's fee is going to go up. It's going to go up because people going. And he got a Netflix special. He got 50 mil from Netflix. He going to get another 50 mil from Netflix. Like you said earlier, we had a conversation yesterday. You said if you was his attorney, you'd renegotiate all his contracts right now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So all his contracts.
Lonzo.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but we got to get invited to the next Oscars And I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you permission to slap the shit out of me at the next Oscars because I'm going to raise my attorney fees, and I'm sure your audience is going to skyrocket on your podcast.
Hell
So
yeah!
I give you permission in advance.
What only thing sells better than a good punch is a good fucking. If somebody was having sex, then damn it, that's the violence and sex are the two top selling situations. You can cuss somebody out, don't mean nothing, but let somebody catch somebody having sex or somebody.
I have an idea. So we go to the Oscars next year.
You take 2 girls,
and I'll be in one of the restroom stalls having sex with a woman, and you bust in, and then you slap the shit out of me. with the cameras rolling, and I think that'll create enough drama. With all that being said, though, I would be truly surprised if this was staged. I got a couple other things I wanted to add. I know we only got so much time, but I'll let you finish.
No. I was just saying, man. You know, I've learned over the years, man. I don't trust money. Money is the most manipulative instrument in the world. When there's so much money involved. You know, next year, I want to bet you Will Packard will be back again as the producer of the Oscars, and the viewership is going to go through the roof. Okay. Now here's another thing. Yes. Here's another thing we got to understand. For the first time, they probably realized that the what you call that shit, the YouTube or the replay on whether it be on Hulu or the YouTube videos, all those are going to be worth a lot of money. Okay, that's going to be worth a lot of money. That slap is going to be worth a lot of money. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to see it. The last time I seen the news media cover something such a blanketed matter was when we had the vaccines. The vaccine, everybody was on the vaccines at the same time. It's the same thing. Everybody, every show you go to, no matter where it is, it could be on YouTube, Vlad, my show, Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, everybody, all the late night shows, everybody is talking about this slap, okay? So the money that this slap is generated for these brothers and the people around them is going to be phenomenal. And I think at some point in time, just for us to be sitting here again, the third time this week, discussing this, with this brother having a book out. The book just came. I don't know when the book came out, but I know I became aware of it 2 weeks ago. Okay, I bought it last week, and I listened to it 16 hours. I listened to every word of it, and me and my buddies were having a conversation Sunday morning about the book, how good it was, how insightful it was, and then Sunday night he does what he does. Okay. Meanwhile, on my way to Palm Springs Saturday, I see all these signs about Chris Rock playing at a casino that I like going to sometimes out in Fantasy Springs. He's gonna be at Fantasy Springs.
The blind stares of a million pairs of eyes.
Which is Fantasy Springs with the Indian reservation. But I thought somebody his caliber would be in Vegas doing some big shows. But hey, again, now he will be.
Let me say this. So generally in Los Angeles County, the district attorney's office prosecutes felonies, and it's the city attorney that prosecutes misdemeanors. We have a new district attorney, George Gascon, that has replaced Jackie Lacey. He's very popular amongst criminal justice reformists and amongst Black people in general. It would be a very unpopular move for his office to file a felony battery charge or assault charge, because I've seen, people's incidents where one guy has punched another be charged as an assault with a deadly weapon, even though the only weapon that was used was his fists. You get those filings in Los Angeles County and Orange County. So if it wasn't Will Smith and they really wanted to go after this guy, they could file a assault with a deadly weapon charge against him, and that's a strike charge. George Gascon's office will not do that. Also, I don't think the city attorney's office is going to file a misdemeanor. The city attorney currently is it Mike Fuhrer? I believe it is.
I think so.
I think, I don't think it would be such an unpopular move. And you got elections coming up. They're not going to file a charge on Will Smith. If one were to be filed, it would very likely be a misdemeanor battery, where Will would end up getting probation, informal probation, ordered to pay fines and fees to the court, and that would be the end of it.
Management
but
class.
It's unlikely. It's unlikely that's going to happen.
I don't see that happening, Doc. Man, I don't know, dude. It's that brother's going through a lot. I mean, when your kid writes you a letter to say, "I wish my daddy was Tupac," that got to hurt, dude. This dude has tried to build a perfect family. He did everything he could to try to build a perfect family, and they far from they more like the Bundys or the Addams family than they are the goddamn anything else. Okay, they damn sure ain't good time. I mean, your son, he's doing his thing. Your daughter, she's questionable. Your wife out here doing everybody else. Okay, everybody knows that they have their own lifestyle in regards to their marriage. So it's real hard to get mad at a joke. Now, let me tell you a joke in the book, in Will Smith's book, that he pulled on Jada. You tell me this is funny now. I don't have any women in the chat room right now, but y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. Okay, Will tells his story in his book. When his grandmother first met Jada, he invited his grandmother over to the house to meet Jada. Okay. Jada lived about 45 minutes from Will's house. All right. So while he called Jada to confirm she was leaving, he put in a copy of Jason's lyrics, one of Jada's movies. In this movie, she played opposite Alan Payne, my boy G Money from New Jack City. Now, the movie was he timed the movie so well. He said that by the time Jada got from her house to his house, and he opened the door, the sex scene between Alan Payne and Jada was on the screen. Grandmama, look at Jada, look at the screen. Look at Jada, look at the screen. Jada is embarrassed all outdoors. Okay, she butt ass naked on the screen, rolling around with Alan Payne, and his grandmama for the first time sees her on TV butt naked, and then he looked, there she is in the doorway. Will thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Okay, that was funny, but I know it had to be highly embarrassing too. Okay, it had to be highly embarrassing too. Now, if he is subject to her to that stuff in the past, they got all kind of situations they put out in the streets. They put all their business out in the streets. Who slept with who does what. She put her little entanglement out in the streets. Okay, if that didn't embarrass his ass, my name ain't Lonzo. Okay, so to see all the stuff they've been going through, and every time he go to the red table, he crying. He already soft. It's just so much stuff this brother's going through, and all the money, all the success, and he still don't have the one thing that he wants the most, which is 100% of Jada's heart. And Tupac got that spot on lock. He's been gone for damn near 25 years, but still can't shake that spot. Because we all know, if Jada was next to Tupac, Chris Rock wouldn't have made that statement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, her history with Tupac is very relevant to this whole thing. I agree with you on that. I think Will probably asked himself in that moment, what would Tupac do in this situation? And he got up and did the type of thing Tupac would do.
You're right.
But yeah, it's I think people wanting Will to be disciplined by the Academy and for Will to take some kind of loss, I think those people need to, get a life and get over it. If Chris Rock is moving on and has forgiven them, there's nothing left to be said. So, but I think at the end of the day, Will did the right thing, and I applaud him. I also applaud him for admitting that he used to be a coward. How many people, like, you're right, there's not many people that would admit that. But it's the type of thing that you admit when you're taking up as a challenge to overcome it.
Right.
And he certainly wasn't a coward on Oscar night Sunday.
Well, you know what? He didn't get a lot of, you don't get a lot of points for slapping Chris. Chris, 57 years old, 150 pounds, you 251 years old. If y'all would never be in the boxing ring together, you don't get a lot of street cred for slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. That's just, I mean, if you slapped Dwayne the Rock, Negro, yeah, you took a chance. That wasn't no gamble there. That wasn't no gamble. Okay, that was low hanging fruit. You slapped him in the mouth, but you could have also, like I said before, could have did this right here. Hey man, no, dude, not tonight, man. Not tonight, Chris. Not tonight. Okay, and Chris would have probably did the same thing. And
yeah,
you didn't
could have fired a warning shot.
Fired a warning shot. There was no warning shot. Okay, a rattlesnake will rattle its tail before it bites your ass. Okay, most brothers gonna talk shit before they punch you. You know how we do, man. I'm a gangster, man. I'll do this, I'll do that. Woo, 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 woo. Take a minute for you to actually throw a punch. Okay, he went up there. He had to slap Chris. He slapped Chris first, then go back and start woofing. That didn't look right to me.
Yeah, you know what?
Go ahead.
Tupac would not have fired a warning shot. Tupac would have got the whooping on that ass and would have dealt with whatever consequences come with it. And to me, that looks like that's what Will decided to do. So respect to Will Smith for standing up for Jada. Respect to Chris Rock for keeping his composure and continuing on hosting the Oscars. And much respect, I tip my hat to him for not pressing charges against Will Smith, because I think that would have been, kind of a
would that have been snitching?
Unfortunate thing.
Would that have been snitching?
No, because the whole world's seen it. Snitching is when they need an eyewitness. They need information.
Okay.
To prove the case. So if you're a victim of a crime and you report it, you decide to file a police report, that doesn't make you a snitch. You're a victim. That's what you are. And then truthfully, people have asked the question, can the police proceed? Can the city attorney's office proceed with a charge without Chris Rock agreeing to press charges? And the answer is yes. But it would be such an unpopular move that I don't think they're going to do it. And they haven't done it yet. I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, no problem. Hey, man, tell them where they can find you at, man. I know you got a website or email address or something, phone number.
Yeah, the best way is to Google me. I do not have a website. You know me. I've been able to, get by on word of mouth, and that works really well for me. So Dakar Diourbel, attorney at law. Even if you were to Google Dakar Attorney Los Angeles, you would find my contact info, because I'm the only attorney with that name probably in the country, and definitely in Los Angeles. So.
And he's born and raised in California. Although he has an African sounding name, he is from the United States of America. He's a legitimate cat. I've been knowing him about 5-6 years ago. We've done shows together. We're born on the same day, like Tupac, June 16th. And
that's right.
And he and I have talked about some of his cases that were passed on by other attorneys that he won. So if you're looking for a criminal attorney, it's my partner. If you can't find him, you can find me. He's right here in LA. Long as you can do law anywhere in California, right?
Absolutely. I've even defended people out of state, Arizona. I've represented people in Nevada, so I can and will travel. However, just to correct one little thing, everything you said is 100% precise, but I was actually born in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. I've been out here since 2003, and this is home for me.
I know when I first saw your name, Dakar Diourbel, I'm like, what country is he from? Okay. What? How do you?
United States.
I have never met a brother named Dakar, and I don't know nobody with the last name Diourbel. Anything like that, remotely like that was ever born in the States. But see, there you go. You learn something every day.
There it is.
Much love to you, Doc Darcel. I see my girl Darcel in the house. I see my boy Marlon, Unknown Raider guy. Who else stopped by right quick in the chat room? Crypto Charles, Said Born. Much love to who was that? David Cox, Rashad Cobb, everybody, man. Thank y'all for stopping in again, y'all. I'll see y'all Tuesday with my man Dusty. I'll be back here on Compton Chronicles a lot more. I got some hot stuff coming, especially for the fellas. I got a child support case. Brothers, y'all gonna be like, damn, but that really happened? That really happened. I'll talk to y'all Tuesday. Dakar, much love to you, Doc. Thank you, man.
Indeed. Thank you.
All right, folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop, and I'm back. I'm here on the Compton Chronicles. I'll be back Tuesday with my other show, me and Dusty live, and also on Thursdays with my boy, Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. In the meantime, y'all, I'm about to here. Have a good weekend, folks. Peace.